Hello, beautiful world. For those of you who don't know me, my name is John. And for those of you who do follow regularly, this is the beginning of the video series I said I would start. I've used this channel for 8 years now to follow my life as a man, my growth spiritually, and also the expression of that in the physical world, in the manifestation of compassion, of building a village for disabled children, building a dog rescue in a country where there are only 3 dog rescue shelters, opening a home for street-involved and homeless children, living with one of the most iconic tribes in the world, the Maasai. It's been a profound journey in the physical expression, but it's also been a deeply profound journey as my spiritual expression, my internal workings. At this time, however, I feel as I look around in the spiritual community on YouTube that things have become very disorganized and disordered, and I've played my own role in there, undoubtedly. I am definitely part of that. And I made a choice. I wanted to bring some order into this, an order into my walk with God in the presence and the nowness, my awakening as a human being, and how that altered my life forever, how that gave me access to a love that I deem as unconditioned, and allowed for nothing but a want for compassion to arise from a person who once over did not have that really. As I followed all of that and I see that which is disordered and disorganized, I want to start at the beginning. I want to try and build a framework from everything I've learned as a person to get me to where I am. And you might look and say, so are you to be a teacher here, a guru? And I am none of those things. I'm a human being who had a profound experience and a shift in consciousness. And when I did, I met the presence of God. And when I met that presence called me blindly to a part of the world. And as I arrived there blindly, miraculous things happened. As I mentioned, building a village for disabled children and dog rescue, etc. Helped thousands of people by awakening into this consciousness. Now I guess this video is just to introduce who I am, so as you can come along on this video series, I hope. I know this much by now. Awakening can't be taught. It can only be realized. But persons can point you to awakening. And so this series will have something on being pointed to awakening. I have experiences that not many humans do in this world. My shift in consciousness came from a 40-day water fast. 40 days and 40 nights without any food, just drinking water. This changed me forever. This was the arising of God's presence in an extremely loud way in my life. When entering that new state of consciousness, I began to learn new languages, interacting with reality, the nowness of life. In the presence, in the nowness, which is all you ever have and all else is the delusion of the mind, is where you can start to interact and hear the voice of God. And it doesn't happen necessarily audibly. Mine came in the form of synchronicities, came in the form of dreams. And these are languages and things that you can access that I can teach. I've learned a lot about meditation and stillness in this time. This I can share as well here. Beyond there, I have used ancient wisdom which I was brought to during my 40-day water fast about the anatomy of prayer. Your body is the temple of God, and the anatomy of prayer involves your temple being aligned with that vibratory field whereby you enter the roaring presence, where you see reality without language and memory. And when you enter there, the anatomy of prayer I refer to is the arising of the chrism, the sacred secretion, the Christ within, which activates the glorious temple mind, which activates the area, the thalamus area with your pineal and your pituitary. And this elevates your vibration. This brings you into a space where you can commune with God with ease, well, with greater ease, shall we say. This I was brought to, and since then I have been able to see a lot of mystical codes inside the theologies of the world. Mystical codes which actually link instead of separate our religions and bring us together in that unified presence of God, that unified love, unconditioned love of God. And so this series will be a pointing towards awakening, freedom from the idea that you are your birth certificate identity, and the arising or the spiritual rebirth to be born again, as Christ said, into the spirit man. This I can point you to, but it can't be taught. Beyond there, once you are there, these languages that guided me to do what I did blindly as a working class person with a camera, I followed these signs and this language which was the voice of God, and wound up helping thousands of children, thousands of people out in East Africa, and hundreds of dogs as well, who were all struggling and in crisis, and continue to do so. These languages can be shown, and you can access them, and I will share these as well. And beyond there I will share the mystic theologies that I was awoken to during these periods of these deeply mystical states of consciousness that I learned how to enter and have lived largely within over the years, much to the dismay of those who are close to me. So this is who I am. I'm a normal person like you. I have 2 sons here. I am called Dad by a great many children out in East Africa. I have a beautiful wife. I run a large charity. I work. I am building a new social media platform to help connect social media influencers and content creators with charities to build a better world. I have a very normal life going on, as well as having access to these mystical states of consciousness. And I wish to share this all in an ordered fashion, in the hope that you can find the same peace and joy and love with the presence of God that I have, and the hope also that from that presence that you may be called by that presence in the nowness. And if you hear that call, that you may well also be able to bring some compassion and love into the lives of persons who really need it, which is exactly what happened in my story, and I have seen it happen in the story of many others by now as well. So this is my series. I don't know what I'll call it. I'm thinking something along the lines of So You Are a Human, a guide to living your highest good. Something like that. I hope you join me for the rest of the series though. God bless, guys. Be well. Be mindful. Be happy.